What is the real reason behind the increase of diseases in the United States? And can we really blame the food industry or the beverage industry? Is it fair?
If you stack rank the things that are going to be responsible for the destruction of the American experiment, right? Number one is the fact that we let ourselves get fatter, sicker, more depressed, more infertile at an increasing rate while bankrupting the country.
Early in my career, I consulted for Coke to ensure sugar taxes failed and soda was included in food stamp funding. I say Coke's policies are evil because I saw inside the room. The first step in the playbook was paying the NAACP plus other civil rights groups to call opponents racist. What is going on with big food, and is it making us sick?
Cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, obesity, autoimmune conditions, these are all going up, and they are all foodborne illnesses. And the fact that there is not clear communication about that from our medical leaders and public policy leaders, I think is the biggest scandal in America and the most dangerous scandal. We are being brought to our knees by metabolic dysfunction tied to food. 8 of the 10 killers of Americans, as I mentioned, some of them are directly tied to food. That also includes depression. Depression is skyrocketing, as Chris Palmer at Harvard and some other prominent doctors are pointing out. Brain conditions are metabolic dysfunctions. I frame it that way to kind of set the table that what's happening right now in America, where 30% of children have prediabetes, where 80% of adults are obese or overweight, where 50% of adults have fatty liver disease and 20% of teens have fatty liver disease. You only saw this condition in elderly alcoholics just a generation ago. We're destroying our human capital and obviously our budget from something we're being told is complicated, but it's very simple. And it's taken me many, many years to come to this conclusion. And as I have through, being inspired by my sister and other leaders in the metabolic health space that we can talk about, I look back early in my career, and I was raised with my sister kind of compulsively to get all the credentials. We're working for President Bush, working for prominent politicians, Stanford, Harvard. My sister and I both went to Stanford. Kind of going up the ranks. She became a doctor. I was advising politicians and prominent food and pharma companies. And I think a lot of people, and I certainly was like this, kind of gets in that path and doesn't ask many questions. And reflecting back early in my career, as I worked in politics and then consulted for food and pharma, I found myself helping specifically Coca-Cola keep a huge portion of their revenue, which was food stamp dollars. $10 billion a year is transferred from the government treasury to soda companies. Whoa. $10 billion of money goes from food stamps to soda, to sugary drinks. And this is a nutrition program that 15% of the American people depend on as their core nutrition. It's called SNAP now, supplemental nutrition. There's no other country in the world that for their key lower income nutrition program, right, funnels that money to diabetes water, as I call it. Sugar consumption among children has gone up 100x in 100 years, right? It's not a medical mystery why obesity, childhood diabetes, all these things are skyrocketing. It's because of sugar, but primarily it's because of a nuclear weapon to metabolic health, which is diabetes water, which is sugar water, which is basically a new invention. So we're subsidizing that, and Coke wanted to keep it that way.
What